The second impeachment trial of Donald Trump began yesterday with prosecutors laying out their case, and it ended with the Senate concluding that the proceedings are constitutional. Led by Maryland's own Jamie Raskin, impeachment managers built their argument around Trump's own words, superimposed over 13 minutes of the resulting horrors. It was a strong statement driven home by Raskin stating this:
"If that's not an impeachable offense, then there is no such thing."
And opening this powerful kind of demands a response from the defense of equal weight and magnitude. Well, that's not what happened.
I'll be quite frank with you. We changed what we were going to do on account that we thought that the House manager's presentation was well done.
Well, the rest of Bruce Castor's opening pretty much went downhill from there. Calling it incoherent would be generous. His teammates followed suit, defending the untenable in between sips of water, throwing around allusions to civil war before closing with a bit of poetry. The best defense money can buy, that is, if the legal bills are ultimately paid. The bad news bears of defense lawyers notwithstanding, odds are Donald Trump won't be convicted. It is doubtful that 17 Republicans will join Democrats in finding him guilty. Consequently, the trial itself has been seen by some as a waste of time, but it's not. Time spent pursuing accountability is time well served. It's only through this that justice will be served for those brave individuals seen on that video defending our democracy. Frankly speaking, without accountability and justice, what is democracy even worth? Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.